All right. See, Ashley, are you out there? Ashley Albeck. I'm going to introduce her while she's sitting here on the call. Hey, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sure can.
Yay! Oh, man, you guys, this is Ashley Albeck. She is so full of energy. She's like what I call like the 5-day drop master. She's what helps me master my 5-day drops. Her and her team are absolutely amazing with these, you guys. She's a wife and a busy mom of 4. She's got a 22-year-old, 15, 11, and 6. She homeschools the kids, and they're involved in sports like chess, Boy Scouts, karate. She has a background in finance. She was on track to become a certified financial planner, prioritized being a present mom and wife over a demanding professional life, found network marketing and this model to be a perfect way to build a dream business despite her busy schedule. Ashley, can you share with us your story and how you found Modere with your busy lifestyle?
Amazing. I can. Okay, so I never know where to start, and because I'm like the last person, everyone else's story has now influenced mine, and I don't even know what to say. Oh my gosh.
No.
Guys,
it's amazing.
If you have an ADHD brain like me, then you can totally do this.
Yes. I love it. Oh, God.
Okay, so you're right. I am a mom of 4. And here's the thing about being a mom of 4. And I don't know about the rest of everybody who's a mom of 4, but I'm just going to speak from my experience. My kids are so spread out. So like 22, 15, 11, and 6. And if you can wrap your head around that, it just means that I literally started and then slowed down and then started again and then slowed down and then started again and slowed down. It's really honestly one of the most incredible, crazy things in the world, and your life is just like always being upended. You're like, oh, now we're going to change again. Oh, here's another newborn. Oh my gosh, okay, here we do it again. And it's so insane to have like a 17-year-old or 16, she was 16, a 16-year-old, and then like being pregnant and then having like 2 in the middle. It's just so weird. Anyway, I love it. And now my daughter's 22, and we just redid an entire basement for her, and she's engaged. And my 6-year-old is like, oh my gosh, if April, my daughter, gets married and has a baby, I'm going to be an uncle. And I'm like, oh my God, stop growing up. It's so insane. It's like weird.
Oh,
crazy.
Yes.
Anyway.
And so quick.
So, nuts. All right, so I'll just share a little bit. So I got, when we talk about that whole financial background, yeah, I was in the finance, but I'm talking like long time ago. And I started getting like my certification. So first of all, I had April when I was really young. I was 17. I wasn't even out of high school, right? So then I got out of high school and I go right into college, and then I get my degree. Now at this time, I'm going to school full time. I'm working full time. I have a child, and I end up getting engaged and planning a wedding that was like in my last semester of college. So I was doing all of that. I'd leave my day at like 6 a.m. with my daughter. I'd go drop her off. At the time, my mom was taking care of her, but she lived like half an hour away. So I'd go drop her off, and then I'd go right from there to work. And then I'd go to work till like 5 p.m. And then I would leave work 5-10 minutes early so I can make it to school. And then my school would be like 5:30 to 10:30 at night. And then I'd get home. Thankfully, nothing happened, but like super tired and almost not being able to drive home at like 11 p.m. And then I'd wake up and do it all over again. And that I share that experience because I was so young, and it changed my entire life. And what I mean by that is my husband and I, we were introduced to network marketing back then, like when I was 18, 19. And what happened was I met someone who my dad like dabbled in network marketing, right? And so he introduced me to this guy. And the guy was telling me about his day. And all I could think was, how are you making so much money and seeing your kids this much? Like, how is that even possible? And do you know what? Like, if I didn't already have my daughter, I would have never thought that way. You know what I mean? I was thinking I'm going to be a big corporate person. I'm like, freaking woman. I'm going to rock it. I'm going to be like wearing suits with those cool vests, you know, those vest shirts. Like I really wanted one, and now I live in like athleisure wear. Anyway, so
same.
so I really, but that was like, you know, I was so excited about that. I had really good like influential women in my life, so I was like living this oh, I'm going to be corporate, I'm going to take on the world, blah 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 blah. But you can't collide these two. Well, I couldn't collide these two worlds in my head, because when I saw him being so successful and his life, right, like how he lived his day-to-day life, it wasn't just the money, it was how he was able to be like, not living in luxury, but living financial peacefully, I'll say, but being able to see his family and be there for his grandchildren. He was a little older at the time. Be there for his children and his grandchildren, like during the school day. You know what I mean? And I had to like grovel at someone's foot to be home if my daughter got sick. And I had to grovel at someone's foot if I wanted to leave work early for a school event. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe it's just my personality, but I felt like when I was at work, the little panes in the windows looked like bars to me, like prison bars. I hated having like sit there and look outside and be like, I'm stuck. Like I'm trapped. You know what I mean? I hated it. Anyway, so when I saw his life, it really set something in my head. And because I was, so my husband is not my daughter's biological father. So during college, like, you know, I'm dating my now husband, and we got married. So he was introduced to that guy also. And so he was introduced to that lifestyle also. And so all of this is going on, right? We're going to school. We're like, oh, I'm going to take over the world. I'm going to get my financial degree. You know, I got my degree, but I'm going to get like my certified financial planning cert and all that stuff. And I end up getting my like insurance licenses. You know, I was already like hired by a company, getting my insurance licenses, starting to bring on like interviews for customers. And I remember laying in bed and looking at my soon-to-be husband, because I was just almost, or maybe, no, it was after we got married. I don't remember. But anyway, and I remember looking at him and going, hey, you know how I just went to school for 4.5 years, and like broke my back while working full-time, going to school full-time, taking care of my daughter, you helped, all those things, you know, like all those things. And we went into debt for it and all this stuff, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking I don't want to do this. And I remember like this, oh my gosh, like this pit in my stomach. I didn't even want to tell him what I was thinking, right? Like I was so scared. And he looks at me and he's like, me neither. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I share this story because, you know, if you don't communicate, you're not going to know, first of all. So don't be afraid to talk to your spouse. But secondly, we live in, like, we work with this company called Modere, and they have this theme, right? Live life by design. And it so correlates with, like, my everything. Because I, you know, back then and now, we try to always live our life by our design and the way that we think God wants us to live our lives, right? But that sometimes isn't the normal path that people take. Do you know what I'm saying? And so when they changed their theme to that, like live like I was like, oh my gosh, this is so us. I'm so happy that they changed it to this. I was just so happy. So anyway, that was like my introduction to network marketing, this guy. And it wasn't so much so the money, it was the money, but it was the way the money helped him live this life of being present for family, not being struggling financially, but also being able to be present. You know what I mean? Being able to go to places he wanted to go when he wanted to go without having to ask other people's permission. And that was like, oh, yes, I want that. You know what I mean? So if I wasn't introduced to it early, I might live a totally different life. Since then, we didn't, you know, we weren't in network marketing that whole time, but for like 12 years now, I've been able to be a stay-at-home mom because of the extra help of, you know, financial help I've had by building this online business on the side, you know what I mean, in part-time hours. And I've been able to stay at home and take care of my kids. And now we jumped off another cliff and decided we're going to homeschool not one, but two of our kids. So now I have we just made this decision, like my 6-year-old's coming home now. So he was in kindergarten last year. I've been homeschooling my 11-year-old for 2 years. And now it's like we have both home. We're going to do this all the way. And we're going to live the life by the design that we think should be, not by society's like way of putting us in certain roles. You know what I mean? And so Modera, though, is a huge part of that. If we didn't have it, we might not have not only the flexibility of income, but also the mindset. Like being in a network marketing, like what do they always say? Because I'm so bad with like words. Anyway, they say something like, you know, it's a personal development thing with money attached. I forget the verbiage, but anyway, that's exactly what it is. I forget what they say, but you know what I mean. You get what I say.
That's right. Yes.
So anyway, that's a little bit of my story. I don't know if that's all you wanted, but like I just went off on a tangent there.
No, that's perfect. I love it. Does your husband do this business with you, or does he do something different?
No, he does something different. He's in sales also, though, and I bring that up because I think it's important. Because he and I kind of speak the same language. You know what I mean? It's just different. It's a different world when you're both commission and you're both in sales, and you can relate a little bit. So, he's in sales. He's in the same company that when he graduated college that he went into. So he's been there for a while.
Okay, awesome. No, I love that. So you stay home full time. You're both working on commissions. You're homeschooling. You love the idea of being at home with your family and being present with them. What does your day look like? Like what are your maybe your biggest tips to kind of? I'm sure it's crazy. Mine's not crazy too. But like, what certain things do you have to get done every single day in your business? I know you're like huge into the 5-day drops, and you have those. Maybe share like, I don't know, how often do you run those 5-day drops? But yeah, with all of that, like whatever you heard, let me know. Let me know.
All right. So here's what I figured would be very helpful. So I personally just had 2 very low months in my business. My daughter got engaged. We redid an entire, it's a huge basement, 1,100 square foot apartment into our basement for them. And then we went on a 2-week vacation to Alaska. So literally, it was a low 2 months for my business, which I already knew was going to happen. So if you're anything like me, you're ready for okay, I need some more consistency. I need to work at I've done, I need to get back into the consistent game, right? So I would highly recommend grabbing a pen and paper because I'm going to share the power of 3. What helps me every time I feel like, ooh, I'm not doing what I want to be doing, in my head, what I should be doing, and how I get started back up. So I'm going to share that. I have a couple steps for that. And I just need to look over and make sure I went over. Yeah. So anyway, we talked about the power of consistency, right? Consistency is key. And this goes right along with it. So it's power of 3, consistency is key. I love how you and Cindy both, and I don't know enough about Camille, so I'm sure she's the same way. And actually she is. She said every day they post in their stories for I think they said 20 stories. So the consistency factor is what's going to make you grow because it compounds, right? And so even if you're consistent in small actions, you need to stay in, because if you're in movement, it's harder to get started again in movement versus just continuing the movement and upping the level a little bit, So consistency is really, really important. But if you're not right now in movement, how do you start? Because moving that boulder, it's the first push that's almost the hardest. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go over those really, really easy 3 steps. So if you're not in movement yet, then that, or if you're I had 2 low months, I need to really up it, but I need to start pushing that boulder a little bit harder, then listen to this because I need you. Now listen, if you're already in momentum, this is what you need to go teach your team. The people, because we all have teams where we're not many people are doing anything, right? And they say they want to, but I don't know what to do to help them start. You know what I mean? What the power of habit and tiny habits and all those books that are amazing. A big part of it is how easy is it and how motivated are they, right? And you can be really motivated, but if it's not easy, then you might not get them to start. You know what I mean? So we're going to go over these 3 super easy things that you can do. And I would suggest do them for like 7 to 14 days in a row. And once you get there, then take the next step. And you can reach out to your elite upline or reach out to somebody who's like really getting some great results. Or you can go to MLife and listen to the training I did on the 5-day drop duplication system, which is what Ashley was talking about. Ashley, did that really help you?
Oh, yeah. I watched it and I was like, wait, I got to do it again. I'm like a note taker. So I was like, notes. I'm like, wait, I watched it like 2 or 3 times. And then just whatever questions I had, I'm like, Ashley, where you get this? Like, yeah, that training is the best in MLife. Yes.
It's awesome. Thank you so much. And you know, it's not mine. That's the other thing. Like, I don't want to take all credit for it. Brandy is the one who helped me. So Brandy has like taken me a little bit and helped me form this like system, right? And so it's really I give her the credit, right? So anyway, I highly recommend going to that. And like Ashley asked, she said, how often do you do a 3-day drop? 3-day drop, a 5-day drop. Sorry, I'm confusing my words. It's every 3 weeks. We do one every 3 weeks because it gives us time to, you know, get people on to the next one, and it gives them time to take a little break in between because, you know, sometimes people just don't want to see your face every single day in a chat, right? So anyway, it gives them a little bit of break, and it gives us the opportunity to bring more people on for the next one. So it's really great. We do every 3 weeks. Okay. So the power of 3. Grab a pen. We're going to go over this real quick. It's so easy. Camille already started talking about the first one, which I love. Thank you, Camille. I don't have to like reiterate a lot because you already got it. I love that she says I get paid. I get paid. I'm going to say I get paid to live a life, right? Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to go anywhere. And then I'm like, nope, I need pictures. We got to go somewhere, right? So you get paid to live a life, right? So, but listen, if you're not in action, it's kind of overwhelming sometimes to be like, I need to do 20 stories. So this is the power of 3. 1, post 3 stories, okay? So 1 about your life, another one about like what you eat, maybe real simple. And then one about your next 5-day drop or your next, you know, the products that you're taking and stuff like that. My suggestion is if you're running with the 5-day drop, do a talking head story, meaning like get on there and find a picture or 2 of somebody just every day. Find a new success picture, like a scale picture or something of somebody in your drop, and put the picture on your video, you know what I mean? And be like, oh my gosh, I want to shout out so-and-so today. They're doing amazing. They're on day 4 and they dropped this amount of weight. They're feeling XYZ. I'm so proud of them. Our next drop is July 29th, right? And then just that's your one story. So
love it.
Super easy. I mean, like beyond easy. So now you have 3 stories. And then the next step, so that's, you know, 3 stories. So the next step is 3 invites. So simple. You're just going to see who looked at your story or who looked at your post or commented on your post, and you're just going to send them an invite. Hey, not sure if you saw this, but we're doing, or actually before you ask that, you say, hey, not sure if you saw this story of Cindy who just dropped 4 pounds in 3 days. She's doing freaking awesome. We're doing another one on July 29th. I wanted to send you an invite to see if you were interested in joining. If I send you the info, would you let me know if you're interested? That's an invite, right? So, so easy. And now sometimes people are a little nervous about sending an invite, but let me explain something real quick. If you were to have a barbecue party at your house and you're like, I want to invite all my Facebook friends, right? And you put up a picture of this invite and you're like, here you go, everybody, here's my invite, right? Do you think anybody would show up? Probably not. And the reason why is because they're going to look at the invite and they're going, that's not for me. She didn't mean that to be for me. She meant that to be like her other friends, right? Like people are so not thinking highly of themselves. Let's just put it that way, that they're like, she didn't mean me. I'm not the one she's talking to, blah, 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 right? So, and like, let's think about a wedding. You send out invites, but not all the RSVPs come back. What are you going to do? You're going to reach out to those people and you're going to send a personal invite. Hey, I'm not sure if you saw the barbecue invite, but I really wanted to know if you want to come, right? Personal, one-on-one. It's really important because otherwise people aren't going to think it's for them, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, so that's your invite. Really easy, real easy. And that ending is so simple. Most people are like, sure, right? If I send you information, will you let me know if you're interested? Sure. That's like the answer I get back all the time. Sure. Right? Because you're just asking them if they want the info, right? It's not like, oh, you need to join us. You want to join us? That's not the question. The question is, if I send you info, would you let me know if you're interested? So people are more open to that kind of question, right? And then the last one is 3 follow-ups. And 3 follow-ups, just like I talked about the wedding, right? You send out invites, you have RSVPs, but some people don't RSVP. Then you follow up with those people. You don't just let it go and, oh, they're not coming. No, you call them. You're like, hey, I sent you an invite. Are you interested? Can you send me back that RSVP? Really important to know, right? So same thing, just not as blunt like I just said, but you're going to you have to understand. 99.9 people out there are very similar to me in the fact where I get a text, I open the text, I'm about to answer the text, and then my son pukes in the corner or something. You know what I mean? Like it, and then I put the phone down, and I totally forget to go back to that text and answer it. So it's a service. It's a service to go back and remind people about the message because they probably saw it at some point in their day, couldn't answer, and then totally forgot about it, right? Or they go in their head, I really want to do that, but I'm not sure I want to do it just yet. And then they forget, right? They just need to be reminded. And so you follow up with them. I have a whole list of ways to follow up with people. And to be honest with you, it's where 99% of my sales are sometimes, like in follow-up. Even if somebody reaches out to me, like from a reel or a story, and they reach out to me, hey, I really want blah, 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 and then I give them all the blah, 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 and then they ghost me, right?
They're on your list.
I follow up with them, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I have a whole list of follow-ups, things that you can say. If you want it, I can post it into the MLife group. That's fine. But every 48 hours, I follow up every 48 hours. I feel like 24 hours is not even, whatever. You can do whatever you want. But 48 hours I follow up. And most people are very, very, very happy that I do. They're like, they're grateful. Oh, thank you so much, And it's very simple. It's like, hey, sorry it took me a while to follow up with you, and then I'll ask a question. How you doing? Even if I just say, how you doing, they usually come right back to the conversation of what's going on in the conversation of the sales, right? So important. Those 3 things, 3 stories, 3 invites, 3 follow-ups. That is so simple and easy to do. I highly recommend that that's what you start with. If you're like haven't even started or like took a break or whatever it is, start with those 3 things to get you into action. Because action is what breeds the motivation, right? When you're in action, good things start happening, and then you're excited about it. And then, like, I didn't want to do this call, but here I am, and now I'm, like, freaking so excited because I'm talking to Ashley and listening to Camille, and I'm like, yes, why did I ever think I didn't want to do this call, right? Because I'm in action now. And when you're in action, you're motivated to keep going. And now I just want to sit at my computer and invite 8 million people. So anyway, those are my suggestions.
No, I love it. And with this promotion coming up right now, that list is going to shrink immensely because who doesn't want a free trim, extra $15 off, your $25 off coupon, your free shipping, like whatever else you're offering. If you guys are doing the nutrition plan, the Best Me 23 nutrition plan, like there's so much right now. It's like Christmas in July, like Christmas in July. It's huge. So I love that. That was
absolutely.
I love that. I wrote all that down, Ashley. I'm like, I'm going to go kick butt with this. I'm super excited. I'm glad that you shared that with us. Thank you so much for being here on this call. Like, you guys are all amazing. Is there anything else you want to end it out with? We'll end the call?
For sure. Okay, so listen, I was going to say it, but I took it off because I was like, I want Ashley to ask me first, and then I'm going to say it. Okay, so everybody else talks about social summit, right? The fall social summit. And first of all, why would you not want to be in a room with a bunch of Ashleys like us, right? So anyway, Fall Social Summit, I got to tell you, when you go to a conference, things just change, right? And there's so much behind that. But what I find to be like one of the most amazing things with summits, at conferences, or even seminars, like one-day seminars, whatever it is, anything in person, right? Your confidence changes because your belief changes. You learn strategies, but the biggest thing that I love is the in-between conversations, right? Like the in-between conversations and connections that you make there. So, you're sitting down, you're listening to these talks, and you're like, they can get you fired up or they can get you overwhelmed, one or the other, whatever. But it doesn't matter. It's the in-between conversations when you're meeting people on the team. What's really cool is, I always say to my husband, every time I meet someone like an Ashley or a Cindy or a Camille, every time I meet someone, I go, oh my gosh, I need to get someone like that on my team, right? And the thing is, it's because we're all so fired up. We've already had the training. We've already had the personal development in us. I need to find the people who I can help become the Ashleys and become the Camilles and become the Cindys, you know what I mean? But it's so cool to meet people who already have this like connection. Their goals are similar, their dreams are similar. They talk the same talk. It's so fun. Everybody obviously is their own individual, but we're all fired up about the same thing. So when you get together and get fired up together and have those conversations in between, it really is gold, and it truly is like pure joy. You know what I mean? It's pure joy.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to walk away with this big smile and feeling fulfilled by talking to people about the same thing and the same goals and the same dreams, you know?
Yes, so everybody get your Social Marketing Summit ticket. Go to yourshiftingresale.com into your events tab. Which one are you going to be at? We're going to be in Nevada. Which one are you going to, Ashley?
Yeah, I'm going to be in Orlando. Sorry, but
so is John.
I'm on the East Coast.
That's okay. It's going to be a blast. No, I love it. All right, Ashley, thank you so much for everything, you guys. All of you guys on here, like, you should all be patting yourself on the back for taking time to show up and be here on this meeting, whether you're on vacation or you're on the boat or you're getting ready to go do something really fun for the weekend. Hopefully you are pumped up and fired up to go move your business forward. You guys, the biggest tips I learned out of everything we heard today, besides having 3 stories, 3 invites from those stories or your posts, 3 follow-ups, being consistent and batch contenting, especially for things like this on the weekend when you're like, literally, I'm going to hang up and we're driving out and we're going to go swimming the rest of the day. So I've got my content ready to take and post. You guys are amazing. We'll see you guys on the next call. Have the best Saturday ever. See you guys. Goodbye.